Hey guys, what's up? Clayton here, and we're back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about kind of a random topic. We're going to be talking about Nords in Magic. As you guys know, I made a true Nord build a long time ago, and I still get comments nowadays as saying, Nords don't use magic, Nords hate magic, and I kind of want to talk about, do Nords really hate magic? Is this a thing that's always been through their history, or if this is just something new that happened? And I kind of wanted to go in depth and talk a little bit about it. I guess maybe not too much in depth, it shouldn't be that long of a video, but I still want to talk about, do Nords really hate magic? And what I think is, Nords are they don't trust magic. They're apprehensive with magic, and I'm gonna talk about it right here. So, magic and Nords kind of go hand in hand a little bit throughout their history. There's a lot of mages that were popular that were Nords, such as Shadowdoor, one of the most famous mages of all time, probably one that you've heard if you keep up in the lore and read books in Skyrim. And then there's people like Azadel. If you don't know, Azadel is a dragon priest that you can find in the Dragonborn DLC. But if you actually go into the lore about him, he was the one that helped Ysgramor and the Five Finland's companions, kick the snow elves out of Skyrim after the Night of Tears. Azadel's family was in what's that place? After the Night of Tears. Azadel's family was in Ysgramor and the Five Finland's companions, kicked the snow elves out of Skyrim after the Night of Tears. Azadel's family was killed by the snow elves in the Night of Tears, so he helped Ysgramor. Azadel was an amazing enchanter, so he enchanted many of the weapons for Ysgramor and his companions to go ahead and kill pretty much all the snow elves and leave him as a Falmer that you see today. So I don't really think mages are, not like unordinary in Skyrim. And a lot of things, there's a lot of mages in Skyrim as well. Fothgar's Secret Fire, the court wizard for Jarl Bargroth in Whiterun, he's a mage. There is a mage, or a Nord mage, studying in College of Winterhold. Tolfdir is a mage. There's tons of mages that are Nords, and I don't really think. I think the general population does just trust magic, and I'll get into why in a little bit. But there's been, Nord and magic are kind of have a history. The Dragon Cult actually used a lot of magic. The Nords might not like to think about that, but they did. All the Dragon Priests used magic, and that may be a reason why they distrust magic. But Nords and magic kind of go back, and especially the College of Winterhold was a very popular place before the Great Collapse, which is when Winterfell and fell into the ocean. And before the collapse, they didn't really have a problem with the College of Winterhold. It was kind of a staple in their town. And even Winterhold was the capital of Skyrim for a short period of time, and it had the College of Winterhold, so I don't really think people disliked the College of Winterhold before the Great Collapse. So yeah, I think overall, mages are okay in Skyrim. I think the idea of them hating magic is kind of a newer thing, because in Oblivion, I didn't really hear anyone say, oh, Nords don't like magic, Nords hate magic, anyone that use magic. But now in Skyrim era, I can understand why they might hate magic, and there's two reasons for that. One I kind of talked about earlier was the Great Collapse. If you guys don't know, the Great Collapse is when Winterfell, that's Game of Thrones. Winterhold fell into the ocean. Many people believe that the College of Winterhold had something to do with that, since they were uninjured in the Great Collapse. And that kind of made all of the townspeople mistrust the mages in there, and they even talk about it in Skyrim, where none of the townspeople really want to go talk to any of the mages, and they kind of keep away from them because they don't trust them, because they think they collapsed the city. And the town, or Winterhold, was seeming to be a thriving city before the Great Collapse, so I think maybe they kind of have anger against these mages, and people in that region distrust the mages because of that. And another reason why the Nords will distrust magic is that the Thalmor, which they've been fighting for, since the Great War, 30 years, I believe, that's what they said in the game, they are known for using magic. High Elves are kind of the head of magics. Like, everyone who is a great mage, or who wants to study with great mages, go to High Elves, because High Elves are like the cream of the crop of mages, and they all use magic. And with the distrust of these elves that, they've been in a war with for 30 years, they might not really trust magic. If someone it was like killing your families with this certain ability, you probably wouldn't like them or the abilities they use. So I can see why the general population hates magic, just because it gets a bad rep because of the high elves been using it in the war. And you hear people talking about getting burned in the war and all the war stories from different characters in Skyrim as you quest. And I can understand why they might hate magic. Yeah, so I understand why people might hate magic and why people think the true Nord build isn't really true, because there's like Nords hate magic. But this is, one more thing about that is if you go to Shavengard for the main storyline, there is tons of Nord mages there. There's a mage outfits and stuff like that. Even one of the people that helped take down Alduin was a mage. So mages are kind of a normal thing in Skyrim and Nord culture. It's just nowadays with the elves and the Great War and the Thalmor and the Great Collapse, it kind of made a distrust for magic. So I think overall nowadays in the Skyrim time frame, yeah, they do distrust magic, and people would probably be looked down upon for using magic. But I think before the Great War and the Great Collapse, mages were okay. They were a thing that was commonplace in Skyrim, and I don't really think they really hated magic back then. But now, I could totally agree with you guys that nowadays, magic is frowned upon in Nord culture. But still, there is tons of Nords that practice it in the game. So I really don't think it's really that big of a deal. And also, it's a game. So there's probably going to be, a lot of different people doing different things. And if you think of it as a human, like if you compare it to Earth, you're not going to really see like one whole race hates this one thing. It's not really true. So yeah, that might be a kind of a bad point to end on. But yeah, overall, I think Nords hate magic now in the Skyrim time frame. But before that, they were pretty okay with magic. So that's my final verdict. Nords sort of hate magic. They distrusted magic now. Previously, not so much. So hopefully you guys enjoy this build. Not this build, but this video, and you guys kind of understand what my thought process is with Nords and magic. And maybe you guys leave your comments down below of what you think too. But be like, what's the word? Leave constructive criticism, if I said that right. Where like you just don't be like, oh, your opinion's wrong, it's stupid. Talk to me about it, explain why you think Nords always hate magic, and maybe you're right. But this is my opinion, and yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and this is Clayton, signing out.